Hello and a very good morning. It's 10 a.m. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. I'm Frank Pereira. This is the breakfast news. Here are the headlines. Rajya Sabha passes the Indian Medical Council Amendment Bill of 2016 and the Dentist Amendment Bill of 2016. The two bills put national eligibility cum entrance test in place. Key reform and final lap GST Bill to face test in the Rajya Sabha on Wednesday. Both the BJP and the Congress issue whips ask members to be present in the House when the bill is tabled. Anandiben Patel quits as Gujarat Chief Minister. BJP President Amit Shah says resignation will be put in front of Parliamentary Board Committee for further action. Disciplinary panel of the National Anti-Doping Agency gives clean chit to Narsingh Yadav, wrestler allowed to participate in the 2016 Rio Olympics. And India in command in the second test match at Sabina Park against the West Indies. Rahane's stun stretches India's lead to 304. Virat Kohli declares at 500 for 9. Hosts get a lifeline as final session washed out due to rain. Well, the long-pending GST bill was on Monday listed for consideration and passing in the Rajya Sabha on Wednesday. This amidst strong indications that the most far-reaching taxation reform in independent India would be supported by Congress and all other major political parties. The Goods and Services Tax Bill, which has been in the making for over a decade now, entails introduction of a single indirect tax regime across the country. According to reports, the government held fresh round of talks on Monday with the main opposition Congress and other parties, including the Left and Samajwadi Party, for building a consensus on the GST. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley held further consultations with senior Congress leaders Ghulam Nabi Azad and Anand Sharma and chalked out details of the contentious bill aimed at bringing about a consensus on the bill. Jaitley also met CPIM General Secretary Sitaram Yechuri besides some other leaders. Later, along with Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar, he met Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan. Another round of talks to clarify on the language of the key parts of the bill is likely to be held with the Congress on Tuesday.
जीएसटी पर भी हमारी यही कोशिश रही है कि सभी लोग जो है इसमें सहमति के आधार पर जो है वो इसको पास कर पाए.
1% additional tax. Second was grievance redressal mechanism, whether it should be part of the structure or outside it. And third was the rate. I think government has shown willingness and it should be open to listen to the opposition benches. Stop the blame game. Who stopped GST? Because the blame game would also include the then Gujarat Chief Minister and today's Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. He was the one who did not allow GST to be passed in UPA 2 regime.
मैं मानता हूं कि सरकार ने सभी लोगों से सभी पार्टियों से बात कर ली होगी और आम सहमति से पास होना चाहिए, ऐसा पहले से हमारा राय रहा है.
Government has agreed to the Congress's proposal of not imposing 1% additional tax on states that lose revenue. Secondly, negotiations are only on with regard to capping of a limit on GST. The government has to deliver on what it has spoken. Congress has always been ready to pass the GST provided the 3 or 4 provisions that were anti-poor, anti-people were dropped from the bill.
Well, the Parliament on Monday passed 2 significant bills to put the National Eligibility cum Entrance Test or NEET in place. The Indian Medical Council Amendment Bill of 2016, the Dentist Amendment Bill of 2016, which were approved by the Lok Sabha earlier, were passed by the Rajya Sabha by voice vote. With NEET, the government aims to curb corruption by bringing in transparency and check multiplicity of exams. NEET will come into effect from next year. The admission to medical and dental courses will be done through a single common entrance test across the country. The AIADMK opposed the bill and staged a walkout, however, arguing that it will affect rural students who do not study CBSE syllabus. Health Minister JP Nadda, however, assured that this will not affect the state quota and it will be on state governments to decide and give extra marks and give admissions to reserved categories.
हम लोगों ने स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को लिख दिया है कि पिछले 3 सालों में आपके यहाँ स्टेट्स में किस किस लैंग्वेजेस में आपने एग्जामिनेशन लिया है उसको हमको आप बताएं और उसके अकॉर्डिंगली द एग्जामिनेशंस विल टेक प्लेस अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर लैंग्वेजेस.
So it is, reservation is our birthright. It is in practice. We are following it in force. So the NEET, because of this NEET examination, definitely rural poor students will be affected.
आप एग्जिट एग्जाम कंपलसरी कर दीजिए. आपको जो ये आशंका है कि कहीं क्वालिटी खराब न हो जाए.
इस डोनेशन के सिस्टम को आप इस एग्जाम के साथ खत्म करेंगे नहीं करेंगे. जो प्राइवेट लोग हैं, प्राइवेट कॉलेज हैं, ये रिजर्वेशन जो सरकारी अस्पतालों में होता है, ये प्राइवेट अस्पतालों में होगा कि नहीं होगा?
Seeing the constitution of the National Board on Examination does not give me any confidence whatsoever that this government has the courage to stand up to the vested interests of the Medical Council of India and accept the recommendations of the Standing Committee.
Meanwhile, Minister of State for External Affairs, General V.K. Singh, will leave for Saudi Arabia today to help stranded jobless Indian workers there. Nearly 10,000 Indian workers are facing severe food crisis in the Saudi city of Jeddah after losing their jobs. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj assured the Rajya Sabha that the government will make all arrangements to bring back the Indian workers who are currently stuck in Saudi.
The government has stepped up efforts to help nearly 10,000 Indian workers in Saudi Arabia facing starvation after being rendered jobless. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj informed the Rajya Sabha during 0 hour that the Indian embassy in Saudi Arabia has been directed to serve food and that she was monitoring the situation on an hourly basis. Swaraj also stressed that the government will take steps to ensure that the Indian workers get their salary arrears and exit visa.
लेबर ऑफिस से हमने कहा कि 8-8 महीने का बकाया नहीं, कईयों का तो बहुत दिनों का बकाया है, तो इसलिए आप हमसे इनके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करवाइए जिसमें जब भी आप इन कंपनियों के साथ सेटल करें तो उनका पूरा बकाया वेतन हमारे श्रमिकों को दिया जा सके. और अब मैं स्वयं जनरल वीके सिंह को वहाँ भेज रही हूँ, वो कल वहाँ चले जाएंगे. फॉरेन ऑफिस और लेबर ऑफिस दोनों से बात करके इन सबके हम लोग रजिस्टर करेंगे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स ताकि इनको सारा का सारा बकाया पैसा यहाँ वापस आने पर भी मिल सके और इनको सबको स्वदेश वापस लेकर के आएंगे.
Swaraj was seeking to allay fears of members who expressed concern over the Indians starving in Saudi Arabia.
बिहार के 700 मजदूर जा करके जद्दा में फंसे हुए हैं इसलिए कि यहाँ काम नहीं मिलता है. वहाँ रोटी के लिए तड़प रहे हैं. कारखाना मालिक ने, वहाँ की कंपनी ने 8 महीने से उनका वेतन बंद कर रखा है.
वहाँ की सरकार जो उन पे एट्रोसिटी कर रही है, जेलों में बंद है, उनको रोटी नहीं मिल रहा, काम से उनके पासपोर्ट जमा कर लिए गए. सिमन, ये तो एक निर्दयता का एक तरीका हो गया. यहाँ का लेबर जा रहा है और उसको उस तरह हो रहा है. मैं सुषमा जी से कहूँगा कि इसको गंभीरता से लें.
हमें जो है लीगल असिस्टेंस की सुविधा करानी चाहिए और लोगों को मदद करने के लिए वहाँ पे एक सेल बनानी चाहिए स्पेशल, तभी ये समस्या हल हो सकती है. अगर हम लाखों मजदूरों सबको वापस बुला लेंगे, डोमेस्टिक वर्कर सबको, उससे समस्या हल नहीं होने वाली.
The ongoing dip in oil prices has forced the Saudi government to slash spending since last year, putting a strain on local construction firms that rely on state contracts. Many companies are struggling to pay foreign workers and have laid off thousands, leaving them jobless and famished. On Saturday, the Consulate General of India in Jeddah, in association with the Indian community, distributed 15,475 kilos of food to the workers over the past 3 days. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Lok Sabha on Monday passed the debt recovery bill that will help speedy recovery of bad loans and help banks clean up their balance sheets of stressed assets. While debating the bill in the House, the government said that the country cannot have a banking system where people take loans and do not repay. Here are the details.
The Lok Sabha on Monday passed the Enforcement of Security Interest and Recovery of Debts Laws and Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Bill of 2016 by voice vote. The law empowers banks to take possession of collateral in the case of loan default except for farmland. However, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley ruled out waiver for education loan defaulters.
The security can be given to the asset reconstruction company, and that asset reconstruction company will then transiently hold it till a new person can step in and then revive that same asset. So the idea being the unit must go on, it must become economically more liquid, and the jobs are not lost in the whole process.
The government has accepted all recommendations of the Joint Committee which submitted its report last month. The bill will amend 4 acts: SARFAESI Act of 2002, the Recovery of Debts Due to Banks and Financial Institutions Act of 1993, the Indian Stamp Act of 1899 and the Depositories Act of 1996. Lok Sabha members also pitched for speedier recovery of debts.
This bill may seem sufficient or ample or substantive or comprehensive when it comes to reforming the financial sector, yet again, but we do need to ask ourselves that despite consistent reforms in this country, what is the state of our banking sector and in particular the public sector banking?
Non-banking financial capital is registered with the RBI and having assets size of rupees 500 crore were to be notified as financial institutions under the SARFAESI Act. For some strange reasons known best to the government, it has not yet issued such a notification still.
Problem of prices, which is linked to the finance ministry, is also related to problem of industrial development. This I want to bring to your notice, sir.
The bill aims at faster recovery of debt by PSU banks, which are grappling with the 4 lakh rupees crore of non-performing assets and 8 lakh rupees crores of stressed assets. The bill also gives RBI powers to audit and inspect asset reconstruction company and the freedom to remove the chairman or any director and appoint central bank officials to its board. The move assumes significance as it comes against the backdrop of the case involving liquor baron Vijay Mallya, who owes 9,000 crore rupees to banks but has left the country to take refuge in England. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Moving on to some other news now. The Congress party will kick off its Uttar Pradesh poll campaign with President Sonia Gandhi leading a roadshow in Varanasi today. Supporters and party workers are likely to participate in the roadshow, which will cover nearly 8 kilometers in 3 hours. The roadshow will conclude at Englishia Line, where the Congress president will deliver a speech. She will also offer prayers at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. The Congress chief is expected to take on Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his Lok Sabha constituency over lack of development in the city. The Congress's UP Chief Ministerial candidate Sheila Dikshit and senior leader Ghulam Nabi Azad will also be present at the roadshow.
27 साल पहले कांग्रेस का रूल हुआ था और हमारा नारा भी यही है कि 27 साल उत्तर प्रदेश बेहाल। और ये नारा कोई ऐसा ही नारा नहीं है, सत्य है, इसमें पूरा सत्य है कि जिस शिखा पर पहुंच गया है उत्तर प्रदेश, हम सब लोग उत्तर प्रदेश के रहने वाले हैं, तो बुरा लगता है।
Well, Home Minister Rajnath Singh will visit Islamabad on Wednesday to attend the SAARC Home Ministers Conference as per schedule. This despite the threats made by militant and Lashkar-e-Toiba Chief Hafiz Saeed's warning of a countrywide protest in Pakistan if Singh arrives in Islamabad to attend the SAARC summit. Rajnath Singh is also expected to raise the issue of Pakistan's support to terror groups operating in India, but is unlikely to meet his Pakistani counterpart Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan separately for bilateral talks.
हमारे होम मिनिस्टर पाकिस्तान जा रहे हैं, वो कोई बायलैटरल टॉक ले नहीं जा रहे, वो एक मल्टीलैटरल टॉक है जिसमें सार्क देशों का गृह मंत्रियों का बैठक है और वहाँ पे कोई भी सिक्योरिटी का इशू आता है तो वो पाकिस्तान को उसको संभालना चाहिए। अगर कोई संगठन उस पर कोई धमकी देता है तो पाकिस्तान का ड्यूटी बनता है कि उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करे।
Well, Gujarat Chief Minister Anandiben Patel has submitted her resignation. She has offered to resign earlier as well, asking the BJP High Command to start the process of selecting a new Chief Minister. In a letter, she had stated that she wanted to step down as Chief Minister when she turns 71 on November 21st. She also submitted her resignation to Party President Amit Shah and State BJP Chief Vijay Rupani. A decision, or rather a final decision on her resignation will be taken by the BJP Parliamentary Board. Anandiben Patel was under pressure as the BJP fared badly in the rural civic body polls in December 2015, with the opposition, the Congress, making gains. The fierce Patel community quota agitation and the more recent Dalit uprising after the Una thrashing incident has also dented the image of the party.
2017 के अंत में गुजरात में विधानसभा के चुनाव आने वाले हैं और राज्य में हर 2 साल के बाद होने वाली महत्वपूर्ण वाइब्रेंट गुजरात समिट में भी जनवरी 2017 में आने वाली है। नवनियुक्त मुख्यमंत्री को पूर्ण समय मिले, इसलिए मैंने 2 माह पहले पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेतृत्व के सामने इस जिम्मेदारी से मुक्त होने की विनती की थी। मैं फिर से इस पत्र के माध्यम से पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेतृत्व को मुझे मुख्यमंत्री पद की जिम्मेदारी से मुक्त करने की विनती करती हूं।
उन्होंने कहा है कि नवंबर में उनके 75 साल समाप्त हो रहे हैं और क्योंकि जो नया व्यक्ति पार्टी लाना चाहती है उसको एक समय मिलना चाहिए, तो इसलिए उन्होंने स्वयं अपने पद से मुक्त करने के लिए पार्टी को रिक्वेस्ट की है। अब इन्होंने जो पत्र मुझे लिखा है मैं पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड के सामने रखूंगा और पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड उस पर निर्णय करेगा।
In other national news now, 3 accused in the Bulandshahar gangrape case were sent to 14 days of judicial custody on Monday. Now, expressing anguish over the case, UP Governor Ram Naik has asked the state government and police to take immediate steps to ensure that incidents like the Bulandshahar gangrape do not recur. Meanwhile, the centre has sought a report from the Uttar Pradesh government after the issue resonated in the Lok Sabha on Monday, with the BJP members demanding Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav's resignation on the issue. A woman and her 13-year-old daughter were gang raped at gunpoint after dragging them out of a car in Bulandshahar, where they were travelling with their family from Noida on Friday night. Over a dozen people have also been detained. Well, the flood situation in Assam and Bihar remained grim, with 15 more deaths reported on Monday. According to Assam State Disaster Management Authority, 3 more deaths were reported in the state, taking the toll to 34. More than 11 lakh people at 1,659 villages in 21 districts are affected by the floods. Authorities are running 366 relief camps and distribution centres where over 1.25 lakh people have taken shelter. More than 1 lakh hectares of crop are also under flood water across the state. In Bihar, 12 more deaths were reported from Katihar district, taking the toll to 38, as 28.2 lakh people in 12 districts were affected. Fed by heavy rains in the Tarai region of Nepal, the Ganga river at Kahalgaon in Bihar, in Bhagalpur district, remained above the danger mark. The overall weather conditions in Bihar remained humid. Light rainfall was witnessed at a few places in northwest, north central and south central parts of the state since Monday. Let's now take a look at what else is making news from across the country in our segment Nationwide. The Special Prevention of Money Laundering Court on Monday remanded suspended IAS officer Pradeep Sharma in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate for 7 days. The ED lawyer contended that he was not cooperating with the investigators, so his custodial interrogation was necessary. Nurses across the country have postponed their nationwide strike today following assurance by Union Health Minister JP Nadda to look into their demands. The decision was taken after a delegation met Nadda and was assured that their problems will be looked into. Nurses who have been agitating against the recommendations of the 7th Pay Commission and demanding revision in their pay scale and hike in allowances had called for a strike. An unidentified Pakistani intruder was shot dead by BSF troopers near the border outpost of Kasoki in Punjab's Firozpur district. The incident happened on Monday evening when BSF Jawans observed some suspicious movement alongside the international border security fence and asked the intruder to stop. According to officials, nothing objectionable was found from his possession. Meanwhile, a suspected Pakistani intruder has been caught by BSF from near the Indo-Pak border in the district. The accused, aged around 45 years, who appears deaf and dumb, was caught on Monday. Here's a look now at what's likely to make news during the course of the day in our segment, The Day Ahead. Well, a 5-member team of the Union Health Ministry will visit Nagada village in Jaipur district today to take stock of the situation there following the death of 18 children due to malnutrition in the last 3 months. According to officials, the team is also scheduled to hold discussions with the concerned authorities of the state government after returning from Nagada. The 12th World Islamic Economic Forum is to be held in Jakarta, Indonesia from today. Minister for Commerce Khurram Dastgir Khan will represent Pakistan in the forum on behalf of the Prime Minister. He will also hold meetings with the representative leaders of the Islamic world and discuss with them the opportunities and avenues of collaboration on trade, investment and economic cooperation. The opposition YSR Congress party in Andhra Pradesh has called for a statewide shutdown today to protest against the centre's refusal to grant special status to the state. Party chief YS Jaganmohan Reddy said that the centre has done injustice to the state. He also said that the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Telugu Desam Party have together betrayed 5 crore people of the state. The Maharashtra Control of Organised Crime Act court in Mumbai will pronounce the quantum of sentence for the 12 convicts, including Lashkar-e-Toiba operative and 2611 Mumbai attack plotter Syed Zaibuddin Ansari alias Abu Jundal in the 2006 Aurangabad Arms Hall case today. Public prosecutor Vaibhav Bagade sought maximum punishment for all the accused in the case. Some international news now. Nepal's President Bidya Devi Bhandari on Monday gave a fresh call to all political parties to form a majority government in the country. This after the deadline given to them for forging consensus expired without yielding any results. In a letter sent to the parliament, the president asked the parties to begin the process of electing a new prime minister on a majority basis in accordance with the constitution. The call by the president to form a majority government was issued after the deadline given to the parties to form the consensus government expired on Sunday without any outcome. Bhandari had on July 25th called on all political parties, in fact, to deal with the situation in Nepal and come up with a consensus. In other international news now, the United States has carried out airstrikes on positions of Islamic State militant group in Libya following a request by the Libyan government. The strikes targeted positions in the port city of Sirte, which is an IS stronghold. In a televised address, Libyan Prime Minister Fayez Sarraj said that the strikes caused heavy losses. The airstrikes are the first such US military intervention coordinated with the Libyan unity government. There have been 2 previous US attacks on IS targets in Libya last year in February and November. The Pentagon said that Monday's strikes were in support of government forces currently fighting IS militants. Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook added that the strikes hit precision targets, including a tank, in response to a request from the Libyan administration in the past few days. Libya has become increasingly divided since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, with competing governments and rival militias seeking to gain territory and influence. The chaos had left Libya vulnerable to an influx of IS fighters, many from Syria.
Today, at the request of Libya's government of national accord, the United States conducted precision airstrikes against ISIL targets in Sirte, Libya, to support GNA-affiliated forces seeking to defeat ISIL in its primary stronghold in Libya. These strikes were authorized by the President following a recommendation from Secretary Carter and Chairman Dunford. They are consistent with our approach of combating ISIL by working with capable and motivated local partners.
المجلس الرئاسي بصفته القائد الأعلى للجيش الليبي على طلب دعم مباشر من الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية لتوجيه ضربات جوية محددة لمعاقل تنظيم الدولة داعش في مدينة سرت وضواحيها بالتنسيق المباشر مع المجلس الرئاسي وقيادة غرفة العمل.
Well, the National Anti-Doping Agency has given a clean chit to wrestler Narsingh Yadav, clearing the way for him to participate in the 74-kilogram freestyle category at the Rio Olympics. According to the agency, Narsingh Yadav was a victim of sabotage and police probe also backs the wrestler. Panel also said that the wrestler deserved the benefit of the doubt. However, there are clouds over his participation in the Olympics as his replacement has already reached Rio. But the Wrestling Federation of India said Narsingh would now be brought back into the squad. Narsingh Yadav failed 2 dope tests ahead of the Rio Olympics and had earlier filed an FIR against a junior wrestler for allegedly mixing supplements into his food.
The panel is treating this as a single violation because the report of the sample taken on 25th June was not notified to him till the sample taken on 5th July. For the reasons said above, panel concludes that the athlete deserves the benefit of Article 10.4 of the anti-doping rules of NADA 2015, as there is no fault or negligence on his part and he is a victim of sabotage done by a competitor.
बिल्कुल जैसे कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इस गरीब खिलाड़ी को इतना साथ दिया और उन्होंने इतना जल्दी सब मैटर सॉल्व किया और मैं उनका तहे दिल से धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ। यहाँ पे जो भी मीडिया और जनता में और हमारी भारतीय जो खेल मंत्रालय है और सभी का मैं तहे दिल से आभारी हूँ कि सभी ने मेरा सपोर्ट किया, सभी ने सच्चाई का साथ दिया और मुझे न्याय दिलाया। और मैं मीडिया लोग खास करके बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा कि आप लोगों ने हमेशा मेरे कई बार सिर्फ जो पॉजिटिव किसी खिलाड़ी का आज तक किसी मीडिया ने मतलब साथ नहीं दिया, आप लोगों ने मेरा साथ दिया और मुझे इतना आप लोगों ने उठाया कि मुझे न्याय मिला, तो आप सबका मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं। और आप लोगों को उम्मीद मुझसे यही है कि मैं ओलंपिक मेडल लेके आऊं और आप लोगों को इससे जब अपने कंट्री के लिए अपने मेडल जीतूं, इससे बड़ी और कुछ नहीं।
Well, the weather gods gave West Indies a lifeline in their quest to avoid defeat in the second test against India when rain washed out the final session of day 3 in Kingston, Jamaica. India built a first innings lead of 304 runs before captain Virat Kohli declared at 500 for 9 just before tea as light rain fell at Sabina Park. But the Shahs persisted and the Indian bowlers did not get a chance to have a crack at the West Indies top order. Play is scheduled to resume 30 minutes early on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. local time. But the forecast is for more rain with a tropical wave headed towards the island. That's it on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a good day.